Hello everyone, I am SS the Showstopper. Today is the 25th of August 2023. Now, I've seen Miss Queen Ifrica, reggae singer. I've been on her, I've been uploading videos for a day or two about Miss Queen Ifrica and the whole Derrick Morgan situation in reference to Nicki Minaj gifting him. And she was showing her disdain for Nikki gifting him and curious if it's an agenda. And she want because she has been hearing questionable things. She has been hearing very strange things about Derrick Morgan and stuff like that. And she wants to know if these allegations are true. And I've seen wherein people have come out, people who are in his circle have spoken out about Derrick being messing around little boys and stuff like that. And that's very frightening. And I said in my video that he should be investigated because people in his circle have made the accusation, have called him out on it. So it's a little bit too strange to be fiction. You understand me? And I said this man should be investigated by the CDA and he should be investigated by law enforcement. Now today we have seen Miss Queen Ifrica unleash a revelation on us, and she has come forward and she has spoken out about her father. I also mentioned that Queen Ifrica shares the same name as this character on social media, the Derrick Morgan, who is the subject in question, as her biological father. So she has the same last name. That's why she wasn't willing to call his name because of the things. And she said she ain't giving him any limelight or any notoriety. Now, Miss Queen Africa has come forward and have unleashed a revelation on us. And she has spoken that, well, it's not her first time speaking out about being sexually abused or sexually molested when she was a child. And she spoke out that it was a woman who did it to her. Now she has come out and say that her father, the great Derrick Morgan, singer Derrick Morgan, was the person who raped her when she was a child. Derrick Morgan, singer Derrick Morgan, raped his daughter, Queen Ifrica, the singer, when she was a child. The family knew about it. She spoke to them and she said she has been trying to get the family together. One of the other brother, who is also a rape victim, has spoken out disrespecting her as if he want it to remain silent. He want his story to be silent and he also want her to remain silent in the process. She has also spoken out about another brother who has threatened her. I think his name is Conroy or Conrad, something like that, Morgan, who has threatened her and say what and what he's going to do with her when he comes to Jamaica. No. With all that being said, with all that being said, I hope people in other countries can see why Jamaica sticks out against legalizing homosexuality. Jamaica is a former slave island. Jamaica is a former slave island. There are people who are descendants of slaves. There are people who benefited from slavery, whose descendants are still living on the island and have great and mighty wealth. There are people on the island who are still suffering because of slavery. They're still suffering because of slavery, which means that they basically have not much rights. They have privileges and they revoke it when it's convenient or when they find themselves in trouble with the law. It's revoked. You understand? So they don't benefit. They still suffer. The descendants of slaves basically still suffer. Now, on an island like this, when you decide that you're going to legalize certain things, just like the rest of the world, or to make it seem equal and appreciative of people like the rest of the world, there are certain people who already are without rights, are without the same privileges and rights as others, who will further be denied rights if they make a report that they were buggered, that they were raped, that they were sexually abused by certain people. Who is going to believe their story? People already do not believe victims' story. People already don't believe, automatically disbelieve victim story. So imagine if something like that is legalized on the island, a former slave island, where people are still treated like subjects, and they decide that, okay, this has happened to them, that has happened to them, and they want to make a report about it. It's going to be mighty, mighty difficult for that person to be tried and convicted, for the guilty to be tried and convicted in a court of law. And not only that, it's going to become way too common, because there are going to be a lot of people who are wealthy, people who are rich, people who are powerful, who will think that they can do whatever it is that they want to do with a child and get away with it, because a lot of them are doing it now. So imagine that being legalized. What's going to take place on the island? Now you see why Jamaica sticks out. Now you see why Jamaica hold out. Miss Queen Ifrica has been speaking out so much. She's a ambassador for the CDA, which is the Child Development Agency in Jamaica. She's a representative of them. She has spoke out against abuse against children. She have recorded a song, Daddy Don't Touch Me There. That's a song that she had recorded, and it was a premonition. Everything is falling into place. It just so happened that the person who she has a disdain with has the same name as her father. The person who is also being accused, where people have come out, people who are in his circle have come out and said that this man have been hanging around places and messing around little boys, has the same name as her father, the person who she's saying or has come forward and said that he has sexually molested her, he has raped her, he had penetrated her when she was a child. When she was a child. So imagine what would happen, or what will happen on the island, if they decide to legalize homosexuality. I've given you the history of it already, and nobody can deny it. There's not one European that can deny it, because that's their history. That's their history. So if you look in my previous video where I speak on Derrick Morgan and the situation, I've spoken out about the history of homosexuality. I have spoken about it. I'm a great researcher. You're looking at a great researcher. Now let me show you some things that I've been researching also. There's a rock star or a rock artist by the name of Mackenzie Phillips. Mackenzie Phillips is a singer, and she's a rock artist. She's also an actress. Years ago, Mackenzie Phillips, whose father, John Phillips, who was a member of the Mamas and the Papas. This was an early, I think, 1960s band, when at the time when the Montreal music was out and all these kind of times in the United States. The Mamas and the Papas came about, the Janis Joplin, the Jimmy Morrison, all these Jimi Hendrix, all these type of people who were coming out and stuff like that. John Phillips, who was a great recording artist or a great songwriter, as he said, and he put out a lot of music at the time. Mackenzie Phillips, years ago, have revealed that her father used to have sex with her from she was a tiny, tiny little girl straight up until the age of 17. He used to tell her that there are countries, he used to tell her that, we can go, there's a country that they can go where it is legal, where they can be together, where it is legal for him to have sex with his own biological daughter, and nothing will become of it. He was telling her of countries that they can go. That was how he sexually groomed his own daughter, having sex with her all the time, from a little girl straight up until the age of 17. We have seen videos where she's performing on stage with her father. They see, I know people are looking at the video sideways and like, this is a song that a father and a daughter was actually singing. And then she revealed that she was having sex with her father the entire time. You know what the family did? The family despaired. The family don't want to have anything to do with her, because the estate has dwindled. The estate value has went down because she has revealed it, and she has been on so many interviews, because they wanted to condemn her. People shamed her. People who are fans of Mamas and the Papas shamed her because she decided to come forward and say that she's tearing down John Phillips. He's not around to defend himself. She spoke about her house. Big pile of cocaine. big pile of weed, lots of heroin was always around because John Phillips was a heroin addict. He took other substances, but he was a heroin addict. He admitted it himself. They and persons were around him said that they were shooting up every 15 minutes. And people were saying that he couldn't be heroin because he would have been dead long time ago. But it's possible. Possibility exists. And that's why you are told not to leave your kids around people unsupervised, especially people with substance abuse issue. Do not leave your kids around people unsupervised, especially people with substance abuse issue. This is the great John Phillips of the mamas and the papas. He was having sex with his daughter, Mackenzie Phillips, when she was a tiny little girl, a tiny child, an innocent child, straight up until the age of 17. She is a drug addict today. And she have relapsed so many times. She has spoken out about it. She has spoken about it. And that's why Jamaica has been, yes, the method that Jamaica has used to caution people against certain lifestyle and certain life practices have been, yes, aggressive. Many times have been violent. Many times have been very disrespectful, inhumane, and all of these things. And they have been going about it in a very aggressive way to caution people against certain lifestyle and certain life practices. But now we're seeing why. Because there are way too many victims. I spoke about it in Jamaica. There are way too many victims, and the reason people are quick to condemn persons who decide to come forward is that they are guilty of it or their family members. I remember, I can speak about my story as a little girl. I grew up in a house. My mother and my father was there. My mother would work, and my mother at the time when because she was like a housewife, but she had a time when she would work, right? And my father, he was all over the world because he had to work also, so he was traveling all over the world. And I remember my uncles come to the house when I was a little girl. My uncles were there, and never once had they ever touched me inappropriately, have they ever looked at me inappropriately. I had sisters who were there. They would have to come and speak because I've never seen it. I don't know if they have even ever touched another person's child, but I know they were in the house. There were days when my mother had to work. My mother went out and she left us in the house with my uncle. I remember a particular scenario where me and my sisters, we went to shower and stuff like that, and we came out of the shower quick. And my uncle said to me that, you made already? And I said yes. And he said, oh, you made so quick. Go back in the bathroom. And I went back in there. I was naked, like a little girl. And I went in there. And never I can praise Jesus and say thank you. My uncle were men of valor, were men of integrity. Never once have they looked at me. Never once have they molested me. I had a cousin who came to the house also when I was a young girl going up to teenage years. And girls going through puberty. I matured very early from the age of 9. I matured very, very early. I had assets everywhere, what you would call assets now, and what black men tend to go after. I looked that image. I was wearing bra from I was in grade 3. That's how fast I mature from I was in grade 3. People always said if somebody's playing with me, nobody was molesting me. That was just pure genetics. Pure genetics, because my father thought when he was in school, he was fully beard, and he was going to school fully beard. So we just have that genetics, and I got it mainly from my father. And I never remember my cousin ever touched me inappropriately, looked at me inappropriately. I latched onto him because he was very intelligent, and he was a reader, and he always, used to question me about these things. He always used to ask me questions and stuff like that about the world, the things that are taking place in the world, and it always piqued my interest to want to know about world issues, things that are taking place in different countries, in my own country, and stuff like that. Never once have my cousin Trevor ever molested me, ever looked at me inappropriately. My uncle Rollin, he is the one that he came on the news. He was lost at sea, and no one ever found him or his body. To this day, we don't know if he's dead or he's alive. So when it made the news, he's my uncle. It came on the news years ago. That's my uncle, Uncle Rollin. It was in Westmoreland. Some fishermen went to sea, and he was the one who never came back. We don't know if he was murdered. We don't know anything about it. But that was it. That's my uncle. He was stern. He was stern with us. He never once, and I can praise Jesus, he never once took my innocence, tried to interfere with me. I had other uncles who came there at the house. Never once have they ever interfered with me, and I can safely say that. I can safely say that. I don't know if they did it to other people's children. I don't know. So I can't swear on their integrity, but I can swear from my end that that didn't happen. So with that being said, I can say to Miss Queen Ifrica, I am sorry. I am sorry you had to go through it. I have been sexually assaulted. I've been sexually assaulted before. It happened in Portmore. I can speak of where it took place. It happened in Portmore. I almost took the life of that man because it's like another being came inside of me. I had a knife. I almost sent him to hell. I almost sent him to hell because I don't play with my body. I don't play with my body. It is sacred to me. Might not mean anything to you, can mean garbage to you, but it's sacred to me and it will be respected with anyone who I encounter and it will be treated as such. So, Miss Ifrica, Miss Queen Ifrica, I am sorry you had to go through that. And for all the females and the males out there who have been through it, I am sorry. I am so, 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 so sorry. So sorry. It's a dark, sad day for children. Imagine what other children are going through now. Imagine what other children are going through now. And for Queen Ifrica, who says her brother threatened her one, disrespected her, what kind of men are you? I'm almost certain you guys are fathers. What kind of men are you? Would you be okay if imagine if your daughter or your sons came and say that that neighbor did something to them? Is that the message that you would send to the neighbor? Is that the message you send to your kids? Is that the message you send to your kids? You see, when people are poor, that's why poor is a curse. It's evil. It's wicked because people are taken advantage of. Yes, they do it to kids, even when they do it to rich people, kids also. Rich people, yeah, rich men are known to molest their kids, yes. And people have always called them out and people have always labeled them and people are quick to believe that story because it's a rich man. People are quick to believe that story. But what about the poor hand card vendor? What about the man who sells on the roadside? What about the taxi driver, the bus driver out there, the chef, the cook, the teacher? You understand what I'm saying? The painter, the Tyler. A lot of these people are known to molest kids. A lot of these people are molesters. A lot of these people are rapists. And they're getting away. They have their family that they're going home to and living and enjoying the life. And they just, it's just another day. They don't care. They have their family. They have their kids. They have their daughters that they protect to the highest. But they think it's okay to destroy another person's child, another person's daughter, another person's son. They think it's okay because it's not my. I told you I've seen the documentaries with convicted pedophiles, convicted child molesters. The stories, I couldn't watch the entire documentary. It's dark, the things that they are saying. But guess what? They tell you that they have to show it to you to let you know how these people think. They have no conscience. He can look as a beta male as what you can label him as puny as ever. And he's molesting. They don't care when it comes to a child. They see something else. They see something else. And they're going after it. Now, if Mr. Derrick Morgan can molest his own daughter, Queen Ifrica, well, I guess because she was raised with him. And he has all these kids, these black men, very prolific, to turn him banal. Can do it to his own daughter. Imagine. Imagine. And now she's speaking out about it. And, people condemning her and stuff like that. Imagine what another child is going through right now as we speak. Imagine what another child is going through right now as we speak. It's a sad day. A sad, sad, dark day. A dark day. So now you see Jamaica, now you see Caribbean, now you see United States, now you see England, now you see Europe, now you see all these countries, now you see why Jamaica has such great mighty disdain for the legalization of homosexuality. Now you see. Now you see. You can't force a person into tolerate tolerance, you know. You can't force a person. You can pass a law wherein you can restrain people, I should say. You can pass a law where you restrain people. So if you go out and you attack anybody or anything like that, verbally attack them or stuff like that, they can be held liable in a court of law and or a civil court or whatever the case may be. However, 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 you can't force a person to terminate. Hate can't turn love, you know. You can't force a person. And might I add, like I said before, it's not straight people who are attacking homosexual people in Jamaica. It's homosexuals who attack homosexuals. We've seen it. Like I said, the last person then with the last game, and I don't know who lost his life. And it's funny, I met the guy like 3 weeks before that. It was like 3 weeks before that I met him. He was doing makeup and stuff like that, and they killed him in Hanover. And who killed him? His partner, people who he's meddling with and messing with. It's a very sad day. It's a very sad day in Jamaica to know that you can be doing these kind of things to people. I'm glad Queen Africa, I said it was only a matter of time. It was only a matter of time before names. I told you, you cannot stop it. Jamaican men, you cannot stop it. It's coming. A lot more persons are going to come out. Lots more persons. And I said, a lot of these things would have stopped if a lot of countries start denying Jamaican men visa. The laws in the country would have been, I'm sorry, Sheila, energies are around, negative energies are around. The laws in the country, the laws in the country would have been enforced if many countries, especially United States, where everybody wants to go, I decide that, listen, they're going to sanction, they're going to make the visa more difficult for you to acquire because you're not looking at child molestation, you're not examining more. Then you would see the government tomorrow start enforcing laws because the laws are in the country. Start enforcing serious laws against these people. What's the statute of limitation for rape, for sexual assault? What's the statute of limitation? And that's why it's important for girls to stick closely. That's why it's important for girls to stick closely to their parents or have a counselor, have a teacher, have someone. If it's not a teacher, someone else that you can speak to. You can speak out about it. Little boys also. It's important for you to have an avenue. It's important because I want to say it's important for you to stick close to your parents and listen. But then the parent, what do you do when the parent? It's like kids can't win. You can't win. This is a battle that you cannot win because the parents are the ones who are the molester. There's also this artist, this rap band named Lost Prophet. It's a UK band. And there's a member in the band by the name of Ian Watkins. He was sentenced to 29 years in prison in the UK. The band name Lost Prophets. The convict Ian Watkins. I won't even begin to describe the things that man has done to little babies. And you know who facilitated? The mothers. Because they see this guy as someone that they want to sleep with. So they are glad because he's attractive. He was good looking. So they see this guy as someone that they want to sleep with. And by any means, they'll bring forth a child. And there was a female who was reporting it to the police and the police did nothing about it. She went several times and the documents are there to prove it that she went there and they did not believe her story when she was reporting him. Dark, dark day for kids. So Miss Queen Ifrica, I do apologize. I'm sorry. You have to go through that. You have to live with that. I am sorry from the bottom of my heart. I am sorry you have to go through that, Miss Queen Ifrica. But do know that there are better days ahead. You're on a roll. And I said it's good to have a team. Get a team. Get a strategist. Get a team and be strategist at things that you implement in it so we can understand your message as clear as possible. I just said it in less than 24 hours. I said it. Miss Queen Africa, people are not, your message is a bit confusing because the people are handpicking parts that they support and part that they don't support. So let us know what your message is. And you need a team behind you. I know it's difficult, so you're catching at straws. So when you hear people like Ella Lewis that say something sound, you jump there. But Ella Lewis is too much of a confusion. He won't do you any good because you can't tell if he's serious or not. So you need a team, Miss Ifrica. You need a team and you need a strategist so we can know your message and what you're putting forward ahead. And I'm glad that you stand out not to have Andre on your team. I'm glad you stick out about it because you are going places that you need not to go to get that support. And I know, I'm sorry, I know what it is like to be trying to catch, try to grasp at something because you have a message, you have a goal, you have a target, you have a message that you want to put out there. I know what it is like. I might add, Miss Ifrica, you're not really going to win this one. I'm glad you called Marcus Garvey and I posted about it my first time addressing you. If you can go on my channel, you will see the first time I addressed Miss Queen Africa and the message that she's sending. And I said it will be mere information. I said it will turn out to be mere information. However, it's a possibility that he will become a mover and shaker. It's possible. It's possible. But it's going to claim the life of a few persons. It's going to be a Sam Sharp type of situation. It's going to be a Paul Bogle type of situation, a George William Gordon type of situation. God bless you, Queen Ifrica. There are persons out there who stand with you, including myself. Regardless of the videos and this and that, my entertainment side of me, I stand with you. I stand with you. I support you. And thank you on behalf of other victims out there. Thank you for coming forward. Thank you for speaking your truth. Never, I always say this, do not let anybody write your story for you. You write your own story, be your own author. Because people will twitch it, people will adjust, people will edit, people will mix and match for their own gratification, for their own sensation, for their own viral, to go viral, you know. So you write your own story, Miss Ifrica, and I appreciate you for coming forward. Lots more out there. I'm waiting on the men to come forward and speak their story. I have spoken about it in the Michael Jackson case video that I posted. So I'm waiting on men to come forward and speak on their story. Now we will see the great upset. We will see and name their names. We will see the great up. You will see the grandfathers, you will see the fathers, you will see the cousins, the brothers. You will see your beloved person who took care of you being held accountable for their actions. Jamaica is not too small for it. We're not playing here. I told you that something is coming. We're having a revolution, whether we like it or not. One is of the mind. That's why they're going hard to control it. And the other one is physical. We are going. You can't stop what is coming. You can't. A lot of you women are going to come out also who are guilty or are guilty. I just can't wait for the men to start coming forward. Thank you so much, Miss Ifrica. Thank you. God bless you. God bless you all. Enjoy your day.